Hello and welcome to the AI with Arun Show. In this episode, we are doing a forensic analysis of the three superpowers that now control our digital lives: Google, Meta, and Alibaba. Let's dive into the AI wars of 2026. 2 years ago, everyone was obsessed with who had the biggest model. Today, that doesn't matter. Think of it like operating systems. Google is the Mac of AI. It's a walled garden. It's beautiful, integrated, and expensive. Meta has become the Linux of AI. Open, messy, and the foundation for everything else. Alibaba is the specialist, the silent giant, dominating coding and math. The industry has stopped chasing size and started chasing three new things: agency, can it do work? Efficiency, is it cheap? And context, can it remember everything? So how did they get so smart without bankrupting us? The answer is a piece of tech called Mixture of Experts, or MOE. Think of the old models like a massive general hospital, where every single doctor consults on every single patient. It's slow and expensive. The new 2026 models are different. When you ask Gemini or Llama a question, they don't use their whole brain. Llama 4 Maverick has 400 billion neurons, but it only uses about 17 billion for any specific word you type. It routes your physics question to the physics expert, and your poetry question to the poetry expert. This is how we got models that are massive in knowledge but light on speed. But here is the real game changer: memory. In AI, we call this the context window. Meta's Llama 4 just dropped a nuclear bomb on the industry with a 10 million token window. To put that in perspective, you could feed it 100 novels, or the entire codebase of a massive software company at the same time. It doesn't just search for keywords, it reads the whole thing and finds patterns you didn't even know existed. Meanwhile, Google focused on a different kind of memory: video. And Alibaba, they stayed small and fast to keep costs down for things like booking flights. Now let's talk about how these models see and hear. Up until recently, most AI models were like tourists using a phrasebook. They translated images into text to understand them. Google Gemini 3 changed that. It's native OmniModel. It was trained on text, audio, and video, all mixed together. That means it doesn't just read a transcript of what you say. It hears the tone of your voice. It can output raw sound waves, capturing emotion. Llama 4, on the other hand, uses early fusion. It's great at seeing images, but if you want it to talk back, you still need a separate text-to-speech engine. Google wins on human connection here. Let's zoom in on Google. If you care about accuracy, I'm talking life or death accuracy, this is your model. Gemini 3 introduced something called Deep Think. You know how sometimes you have to stop and think before you answer a hard question? Gemini now does that. It has an internal monologue. It plans its answer, checks its math, and self-corrects before it types a single letter. The result? It scored a perfect 100% on the AIME 2025 math benchmark. It basically solved the test. For PhD-level science, it is untouchable. But Google's real superpower isn't the model, it's where the model lives. Gemini isn't just a chatbot anymore, it's your coworker. Because it lives inside Google Workspace, it can read your drive, listen to your Google Meet calls, and write your docs without you ever copying and pasting data. And crucial point, it has grounding. It checks its answers against Google search in real time, which makes it hallucinate way less than the competition. Moving over to Meta. Mark Zuckerberg made a strategic bet that changed everything. He gave the technology away for free. Llama 4 is open weights. This destroyed the profit margins for everyone else. Because it's free, every hardware company, Nvidia, Grok, Apple, optimizes their chips for Llama first. We have Scout, the 109B model for reading massive files, and Maverick, the 400B model, which is the heavy lifter designed to rival GPT-4. Why would you use Llama if Google is so smart? One word: privacy. If you are a bank, a hospital, or the CIA, you cannot send your secrets to Google's cloud. It's illegal or too risky. Llama 4 allows these companies to run air-gapped artificial intelligence. You download the model, put it on your own servers in the basement, and cut the internet cord. No data ever leaves the building. It's the only choice for maximum security. Now, the wild card: Alibaba's Qwen 3. A lot of people in the West sleep on this model, and that is a mistake. Despite the US banning high-end chips from going to China, Alibaba used superior software engineering to build a model that matches the best in the West. They have a hybrid strategy. They give the smaller models away to developers, but keep the massive Qwen Max model for their paid cloud customers. Where does Qwen win? Coding. Developers love this thing. On benchmarks like Live Code Bench, Qwen 3 beats almost everyone. It's integrated into DingTalk, which is like Slack on steroids, where it doesn't just talk, it takes action. It can book flights, order food, and process expenses. It is an action-first AI. Okay, let's look at the scoreboard. Who is actually the best? Deep reasoning? Gemini 3. That deep think capability gets it a 91.9% on PhD science questions. Math? Gemini again. 100% score. Coding? Qwen 3 takes the gold for practical, day-to-day programming. Reading massive files? Llama 4 Scout. Nothing else touches that 10 million token window. But here is the slide your boss cares about. The price. Let's say you need to process 1 billion words of text a month. Google will charge you about $4,000. That's the premium price for the premium brand. Alibaba charges about $1,400. Aggressive, efficient pricing. But look at Llama 4. If you run it through a third-party API like Grok, it costs you $256. That is a 93% discount compared to Google. If you are building a startup, Llama is the only economic choice. However, there is a catch. Free software isn't free to run. If you want to run that massive Llama 4 Maverick model yourself, you need serious hardware. You need about 294 gigabytes of video memory. You can't run this on your laptop. You need a cluster of 4 NVIDIA H100s just to turn it on. So, while the software is free, the electricity and the silicon are definitely not. Finally, we have to talk about geography. The AI you choose depends on where you live. USA Defense, you are using Llama or Gemini Government Cloud. Qwen is effectively banned. China, you are using Qwen. Europe, you have the GDPR to worry about. Google handles the compliance for you. If you use Llama, you are responsible for making sure the AI doesn't break the law. So to wrap this up, who wins the war? The answer is nobody. The era of the one AI to rule them all is dead. If you need perfection and deep research, buy Gemini. If you need privacy or to read massive libraries, download Llama. If you are coding or watching your budget, use Qwen. 2026 isn't about the smartest model. It's about the right specialist for the job. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to subscribe to the AI with Arun Show for our deep dives.